All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my MLB AL contenders or pretenders list. So, all teams above 500 in the American League will be eligible to be discussed for this segment. Anybody that is under 500, I will not be discussing in this segment. So these are all the teams that are above 500 as I am recording this segment. So let's go to the New York Yankees. This one's pretty simple. The New York Yankees are contenders. Pretty obvious that they've been the best team in baseball, in my opinion, this MLB season. They're the first team to hit 50 wins in the American League or the National League this MLB season. Aaron Judge has been playing like the 2022 version of himself, that AL MVP version of himself. He's playing at that MVP caliber level, and Juan Soto has been a great addition to this New York Yankees roster. He's been killing it himself offensively, great addition to the team. And now they are set to get their ace back, Garrett Cole, who has been out of the mix the whole entire first half of the MLB season. So when you get your best pitcher, your ace back into the lineup, you mean business, and they are contenders this MLB season. Next team, the Baltimore Orioles. They are obviously contenders as well. This year, I really only see two teams representing the American League in the World Series this year, that being the New York Yankees or the Baltimore Orioles. I do believe one of those two teams will be the team to represent the American League in the World Series this year. But the Baltimore Orioles are a very good team. I cannot take anything away from them this MLB season. They take care of business at Camden Yards this year. Have 24 wins and 15 losses at home this MLB season. They have impressive series victories against the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies over the last few weeks, from last week in the MLB season. And they're getting good offensive production from their young talented players. I mean, Gunnar Henderson, Ali Rutschman, and Ryan Mountcastle have obviously hit over double-digit home runs this MLB season. So I do believe that the Baltimore Orioles are picking off right where they left off last season, and they are true contenders in the American League this MLB season. Now, going on to the next team is the Boston Red Sox. I do believe they are pretenders. Right now, they are still trying to make some noise in the American League East, and that's pretty tough because you have the two best teams in the American League in your division, that being the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. But I do believe that this Red Sox team could possibly be a wild card team at best if they have a pretty good, productive second half of the MLB season. And I do believe that they do have potential. I mean, they did win their latest series against the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Yankees this past week in the MLB. Both of those teams are top 5 teams, top elite teams in the MLB this season. So when you're beating the best of the best, you only grow confidence from there. And I would not be surprised if this team gets hot in the second half and does become a wild card team. So for now, I'm going to say pretenders, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up steam in the second half very, very soon. Now, the Cleveland Guardians. This might catch you guys off guard, but I have them as pretenders. I don't know. I just don't really believe in this Guardians team. I mean, they are first place in the AL Central as I record this, but I just don't see this team being a legitimate threat this MLB season. Offensively, other than Steven Kwan, who is one of the best hitters in baseball this year, I don't see this team being a threat offensively, so I am going to say pretenders, even though they got a pretty good pitching rotation. Now, going on to the next team is the Kansas City Royals. I do have them as contenders, and I've been very hot on this Kansas City Royals team the entire MLB season. If you guys followed the podcast, I've actually stated that they were one of my sleeper teams in the beginning part of the MLB season. And they have not disappointed me so far. I mean, they don't have the best record against winning teams. That's the only thing that concerns me about the Kansas City Royals. Teams above 500, their win-loss record as I record this, they have 12 wins and 19 losses against teams that are above 500. They definitely got to improve that if they want to take the next step to becoming contenders once again in the MLB world. But they are still my pick to win the AL Central. I'm still sticking behind that. I do believe they will surpass the Cleveland Guardians and win this division this year in the AL Central. Bobby Witt has played pretty good this MLB season as well. I definitely one of my favorite shortstops to follow this MLB season. I do believe that the Kansas City Royals are contenders. Now, moving on to the next team, you have the Minnesota Twins. I do believe that the Minnesota Twins are contenders. This team is getting hot. Even though they beat up on some bad teams as of late, this team is getting hot. And when I say bad teams, if you guys look at who they played over the last week, they played the Colorado Rockies and the Oakland Athletics, and they scored a total of 63 runs while going 6-1 in their last 7 outings. So that's pretty impressive, though, I gotta say. But Carlos Correa and Royce Lewis have been very productive offensively. They're healthy and playing well. If they could continue to do that and continue to pile up wins and pile up runs, I do believe that they could become a big threat in the AL and the American League as the season goes on. Now, final team on my list is the Seattle Mariners. I do have them as contenders. Right now, the Seattle Mariners have been one of the hottest teams in baseball today. In the month of June, they are 11-4 as I record this segment in the month of June. That's huge. With the coming off of a fresh 5-0 shutout victory against the reigning defending World Series champions and the Texas Rangers this past weekend. So that's pretty huge. They have a pretty comfortable lead right now in the AL West. They are at the top of this division with teams struggling as the Texans Rangers are struggling right now, the world champions. The Astros, I don't know what the hell is going on with them. They are struggling. So right now, the Seattle Mariners have a pretty comfortable lead in this division. And they're a pretty good home team playing in Seattle, and they have a pretty good pitching rotation of Luis Castillo, George Kirby, and Logan Gilbert. This team could be a big threat. Looking at the other top tier teams like the Yankees, the Orioles, I feel like you have to put them in the conversation now as one of the best teams in the American League right now. But as I close out this segment, if you guys listen to all 7 teams that I said, I have 5 contenders right now in the American League and 2 pretenders with teams that are above 500. So that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.